Shalom, Israel. Hopefully, my account will be unsuspended today so I can upload this video. Spirit just hit me to talk about something. I mean, all week I've been wanting to, but, my account's suspended, and I don't like holding on to videos to my phone that long. I like to do the video and upload them that same day. But I wanted to talk, really, this isn't to brothers in the faith. Most of my videos, I'm not really talking to people in the know. I'm talking to people that don't know, because that's who we gotta bring into this truth. That's why you don't see a lot of me referencing Esau, Jake, and all that in the videos, because the people that I want to reach are people that don't know yet who Esau and Jake is. So you're gonna hear me say God. You're gonna hear me say Jesus. You're going to hear me say the white man. You're going to hear me say black, Hispanic, and Native American people, because I'm trying to speak the language of the people that I'm trying to teach this word to. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, what I'm saying is, beside the point of the video, the point of the video, the point that I'm trying to make overall, and what this video is about, is I wanted to address the dietary law. See, black, Hispanic, Native American people, we don't have it in us to tell the difference between clean food and unclean food as it relates to the scripture anatomically. And what I mean by that is our bodies have built up an immunity to pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, and all the nasty, undesirable foods in the scriptures. So what that actually means isn't that, we're stronger and shit. What it means is that our insides are corrupted. And this is through generation after generation of our people, black, Hispanic, and Native American people, eating unclean foods. Most Muslims that I know that have been duped into eating pork, just to give an example, that one time eating pork, they might eat something they not, they go into it not well informed that it's a pork product. They eat it and they fucks up their stomach. And that's the same thing with black, Hispanic, and Native American people that abstain from these nasty animals. If we were to practice a clean diet, if we were to practice, eating clean, we would, upon eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, it would fuck up our stomach. So in other words, our insides have to actually be corrupt for us to even tolerate being able to eat these unclean animals. And yes, that was me beeping at the asshole in front of me who cut me right off. You want to get in this lane, just signal that you want to get in here and I will slow down, But anyway, look, asshole switching lanes again without doing a signal. I just cut his ass off. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm petty like that. But back to the serious matter that I'm teaching about. The reason why it's important to understand that is because people are going to say, oh, well, I eat pork all the time. It doesn't do anything to me. There's a scripture that says, because sentence against an evil act is not executed speedily, I'm paraphrasing, it's set in their heart to do evil. So in other words, just because you don't get sick right away like you would have if you were practicing a healthy diet, and actually not eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, pork, and all of that, You know, whatchamacallit, what was I about to say? If we were actually eating right according to the scriptures, we wouldn't have these problems. We wouldn't have these problems. So, yeah, so it's very important, you know, for those of you that are watching this video and want to get into serving, you know, the Lord and want to actually be closer to God, when you deal with the dietary law, you have to understand that, you know, again, you know, you've built up an immunity to these bad foods. Like right now, we actually can't probably eat something that's actually pure. We can't eat right now. You know? This poison actually is probably the best thing for us right now. I mean, we still should eat the cleanest of the, you know, the best of the worst, basically. You know? But imagine if we actually were to eat an animal that was actually organic, or, you know, grass-fed cows and you know, chickens from the kingdom. Like, nah, we probably wouldn't be able to handle that. Or the other possibility is it would be so clean that it would probably like flush out our whole system, and we would probably it would probably fuck up our stomach, simply because now we have to, you know, that clean piece of food is flushing out all the impure foods out of our system. But what I'm saying to y'all, and to give y'all an understanding, right? Those of y'all that's not yet in the faith and are possibly looking to be in the faith, eating unhealthy foods has been our thing. Even I don't give a damn how clean you eat. 9 times out of 10, you're still putting things that shouldn't be in your system, because you go and say, oh, you know, it's organic. Organic doesn't mean it's perfectly, you know, fine. Organic just means they didn't put anything extra in it. But the land is defiled where they grow the food upon. The animals are defiled. Everything's already defiled. We're just eating less defiled if we're eating clean. You know, so understand that, you know, before you make the argument, because I always have somebody tell me that a fucking chicken is the dirtiest animal because it eats its own shit. And you're talking to a motherfucker that owns chickens. One of them died, so now technically I own 6 chickens. It's not literally my chickens, but, you know, very close friend of mine owns the chickens, and, you know, I've helped take care of the chickens and everything. I've helped cleaned up their poop. Now it's funny, if they ate their own poop, why did I have poop to clean up? You know, if somebody says that chickens eat their own shit, any starved animal will eat shit that they couldn't believe. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but nonetheless, anyway, I don't want to pull away from the topic, okay? According to the scriptures, we have a dietary law, and because of centuries upon centuries of not keeping the dietary law, we are enabled to take eating these unclean animals and unclean foods better. Our bodies don't get as sick as fast, but these things do break down our bodies in the long term. It's just a long, it's a longer process. So you can understand why those brothers in the Apocrypha were so objective, were so against eating swine, is because they were not used to, they don't have it in their DNA. They didn't have, they had been for centuries eating clean. So imagine what that will do. It'll probably almost kill you if you ate pork, if you had your whole life not eating pork, and then all of a sudden you fucking bite into some damn pig. But long-term wise, it's a very fucked up situation to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. And like I said, it only fucks us up long-term because our DNA has become used to it because of our ancestors, our parents. But let somebody who has not generationally eaten pork, 2, 3, 4 generations deep, and then let them fuck around and taste swine, that will likely fuck up their stomachs badly. Because like I said, even a person, I've spoken to Muslims that was like, oh shit, I ate this, it was pork, I didn't know it was pork. Fucked up, like they was fucked up, throwing up, vomiting, diarrhea. All simply because, they were told something wasn't pork and it turned out to be pork. So we can't take our immunity to eating these nasty animals for granted and say, well, now, like people say, oh, these laws were written before there was refrigerator. Do you think the Most High did not know that they was going to create refrigeration? Like ovens and other. Well, they had ovens back then. Most High knew that they was going to create these things. Most High said, you are not to eat these animals. There's no valid argument that I have ever seen. Like I said, the chickens eating shit. I have fed and cleaned up after chickens, and I have never seen an instance of none of those chickens actually eating shit. So, from experience, I can tell you that's false. And like I said, you got people that will still argue with me that have never actually seen a live chicken in their lives. Like, how do you actually never have seen a live chicken and have the audacity to tell me what a chicken eats and doesn't eat? I have no idea how somebody has that type of audacity. But the point of the video, I'm going to make it again, is that don't take the fact that you don't get sick right away after eating swine or underwater swine to think that it's not doing anything bad to your health. What you're actually doing is corrupting your body part, because how could your body process food like that if it's not corrupt in and of itself, if it doesn't become unclean in and of itself? You are what you eat. And if you eat unclean animals, you are an unclean person. Even me right now, I haven't ate pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster in over 22 years. And I can still tell you that there's nothing I can do in my lifetime to actually clean my insides. This would be a process of multiple generations. This will be a process of multiple generations. because my father ate pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. My grandfather likely ate pork, shrimp. I mean, my grandfather passed away when I was a baby, but on my father's side. But all my unclean animals consumption is all in my DNA. I can be the start to a new cycle, so to speak, but whatchamacallit, I myself am unclean by virtue of, my father and his father before him and his father before him not being, understanding this faith and knowing what animals are unclean to eat. And a lot of times those unclean animals come back in the form of allergies. You have people with seafood. I know a motherfucker that will not stop eating fucking seafood but has allergies to that shit. And I don't know, I couldn't tell you because I'm not allergic to anything but pollen. But that motherfucker really be like swelling up and shit, but still will eat his seafood boils or whatever you call that shit. Like when you eat something contrary to the dietary law, the Lord doesn't have to hurt you. You are hurting, you're already inviting the hurt into your body by virtue of your diet. So when the scriptures talk about, your body being your temple, you're actually putting bad things in your temple. You got to picture your body like a house. You want a good house, a good quality house. You're gonna use a certain type of wood for the frame. You're not gonna use some bullshit ass wood, right? And I work in construction, so I could tell you that there's cheap wood, and there's wood that like strong red oak wood. You know what I mean? Or another one is what else you got? Cement. You got cheap cement and you got real good cement. You got cheap blacktop and you got good blacktop. The same way that you don't go cheap, when you want something quality, right? The same way, like if I was to be a rap producer, I would buy myself some of the best fucking equipment possible. Right? Like I still would rap, but I use GarageBand. I'm not really trying to get the best sound possible. You know what I mean? I just use GarageBand. But if I wanted to really have a quality product, at least to my knowledge, I would have Pro Tools. I would have a really good condenser mic. I would have a Mac, an expensive one. So don't put low quality shit in your body if you're going to be picky about the shit that you use. Anybody that knows me knows I love labels. I don't buy no cheap Polo. I don't buy no fucking USPA. I buy Ralph Lauren Polo. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that like expensive brand names and whatever, Givenchy and all that, you should totally understand my argument about not eating bad quality food. These things are going in your body, not on your body. These things are gonna, like, your diet is more intimate with you than the brand names that you put on. So don't put bad shit in your body and expect your body to react correctly. And if your body does not react badly to the things you're eating, that's because you have, through generational ignorance, have been subjected to nothing but pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and things that break your body down. So with that, I'm gonna just, I'm done with what I had to say. Lord willing, this is edifying. Those of you assholes that don't know why I have shades on, it's fucking bright out here. And I just drove 9 exits on the whatchamacallit, the parkway. And the sun beaming in my face. So if that doesn't tell you why I had shades on this whole lesson, then shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. But with that, I'm gonna say shalom.